a poem at the end of this little essay by a friend of mine, Louis McAdams. I've always appreciated it. It's not the poem in its entirety, and I don't have the book, and it's not in the library that this comes from. Just from a book called News from Nyman Farm. So, the Venus Farm, which raised, it's one of the first pig raising farms that started in a community. Boone is where I live. In the early 70s, decided that it wanted to make as the basis, one of the bases of its economy, an agricultural base and some farming base, so we would start to be a little more self-sufficient in terms of our own food. So this guy, Bill Nyman, started the pig farm. And there was a huge amount of ruckus that went around about what pigs say, everybody, pigs, no, you can't do this, you can't start a pig farm. Well, of course, it was a very well-managed farm, and Louis lived, which was a small one, and Louis lived over the barn. So he became very intimate with the pig there. Gloria, and heard them snuffling and making out and all these great grunts. So the book is a charming book, and then it's written with this close proximity to this large mammal carrying on with all its pig-like functions. One of his pieces anyway is about Coyote. Hey Coyote, welcome back to the cartoon. Thank you, my friend. Excuse me, boy, you got a cigarette? Here, have a Camel. What do you think's going on? All my friends are doing fine. What do you think are the trends? Do you think people are living a little more natural? What do you mean natural? Like when you're living in a car, is that natural? Right, but you got to remember illumination. You got to give off some illumination, or the rest of us be thinking that humans want it all for themselves, and you pay for that in the long run, don't you see? I see. Say, you know, I don't have any money. Oh, well, I can go down to the liquor store and cash a $5. I have to go downtown anyway. That's all right, man. Coyotes don't use money. We're usually naked, don't have no pockets. Coyote, are you a Buddhist? I'm a friend of the Buddhists. Coyote, what about marriage? Boy, I'm afraid you're barking up the wrong tree. It's just the same in your philosophy? Boy, I don't have no philosophy. Well, how do you treat women? I treat everybody good. You have to, if you're going to live in a family, which I'm hoping you're going to do, because it's your ass if you don't. Either way, I'm going to be a survivor, if you know what I mean. It's the first time I ever heard Coyote ask if he was a Buddhist. I'm a friend of the Buddhists. What about the idea of the coyote as the trickster? Anybody want to figure out, talk about what they think the trickster is? Well, we've already read some coyote stories, but any other examples of what the trickster is in your own human acquaintance? Huh? Con artist, very good.
I see.
Yeah, Hustler with his heart in the right place.
Yeah, I see it's kind of more lighthearted.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes he's real impulsive. He also has a few magical aspects that he survives, he keeps on living. And then he can get smashed down to skin and bones and comes right back. It's glued back together again. So that's the ultimate kind of trickster that can survive death as an end, even though he's responsible for starting it all.
What sort of essence that it's a little abstract, but it seems like nothing really is what it seems like. And I think it's really cool about the way you want to do it. So that's sort of
Yeah. It's like real human in that way, sort of like in your own life. You kind of get things going in the right direction. You get them all piled up going in the right direction so much, and the bottom suddenly drops out. That's kind of an aspect of how things kind of keep moving at times.
That seems a lot like Coyote's life.
Coyote's smiling at me, right? He says, I don't know if this is true or not, really, but he says that coyote survives where the wolf doesn't. Say there's a simultaneous sense of wolf happening in the West. Also, they put a lot of strychnine out, ranchers, and the wolves ate the poison meat a lot, but the coyotes learned not to eat that meat. So they're smart. They're smart in that way. They're real kind of dramatic, too.
They mostly travel around the world.
No, they travel in packs, too. And meet up, at least. I mean, they have to have children. I looked at this book once. I tried to read it, at least, on the coyote, but it was in all written horrible scientific language, which tables and graphs and stuff like that. So I just kind of gave up trying to figure out what they were really doing in it. But it would be interesting to observe them in a natural habitat, what they do.
We're just thinking about here in the western towns and even still not even types of movies, some of the better western movies, there's always a lone coyote howling from one neighborhood to another one, whereas wolves are always out together and really meet up and
Yeah. Yeah, I somehow don't visualize them in packs, but I just don't really know that much. A lot of my experience has been from watching those old cartoons that they run on some Saturday mornings of Coyote and Roadrunner, which are almost impossible to look at sometimes. Talk about disintegration and coming back together again, and all those cliffs that they fall off of and get bombed on the head, and cars that run over them, but they're still running around those mesas. Well, this is a phrase but also in psychological terms refers to something in ourselves which is creative, unpredictable, contradictory. Creative is it's very makes up a lot of things. If nothing is going on, Coyote is bound to pick up something. Let's go.